Hello and welcome back to Build. I'm your host, Tatiana Pyle, and I have a very special guest with me here today. Leslie Odom Jr. is a Grammy and Tony Award-winning vocalist, songwriter, author, and actor. While many may know Leslie for his role as Aaron Burr in the hit Broadway musical Hamilton, he also just released his third full-length album and first of original material entitled Mr. that debuted on November 8th. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Mr. Leslie Odom Jr. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to start by confessing my love for you. You are amazing. I'm sure everyone here agrees. Wow, congratulations on your first
Thank you so
original
much.
album.
Thank you. That introduction was very, very sweet. A little misleading. It makes you think that I've won awards for all of those things. That is not true. I'm not an award-winning songwriter. I'm not an award-winning author, but it's true I've won a couple things, but this is a whole new thing that we're doing now.
What a humble brag. I love that. You are still an award-winning artist, so that's what all that matters.
I'll take it. No, I'll take it.
Yes, and we are here to talk about your debut original album, but album, Mr. This is amazing. Can you just talk a little bit about the inspiration behind it? What inspired you? Because I know it took about 2 years to develop, ideate, produce this album. What was going on throughout this process for you?
Well, you know, if I'm being honest, like, all my dreams came true a little while back, you know? I mean, so many of you watched as that happened for me and for some friends of mine. You know, I say and I mean, you know, I never intended to be in show business or performing arts. You know, I wanted to be in Rent. Uptown, a little bit uptown, like that's all I ever wanted. And so I was 17 years old when I went into that show, and I had to dream a new dream. So I thought to myself, well, maybe, you know, it might be cool one day to be a part of something like that from the beginning. And that's what Hamilton felt like. And so there were, even during that whole ride, people would ask me, like, you know, what's your dream role? And I was like, I'm playing it. Like, I don't have any more dreams. So this is really just, you know, an attempt after all these wonderful things to keep challenging myself and keep, you know, walking and trying to fly into the next frontier. You know, I started telling people a couple years ago that I was going to record an album of all original music before I'd written one song. And so this is just me trying to make good on that promise. In turn, I had really the most fulfilling experience as an artist, and just as like a total person, you know, that I've ever had. Putting this record together has been just the most fulfilling artistic journey I've ever taken. I'm so happy that it's finished by God. Finally, I'm so happy that it's out.
Can I just say the first song in the album, like I'm listening to it and I'm chilling. It's very nice and smooth, and then it just hits me. And I'm like, oh, I'm like twerking in my seat now. Yeah. This is amazing. I love it. It's so great. And I want to kind of draw back a little bit. You talked about this is your first time writing original music. You poured everything into this album. It's amazing. It's beautifully composed. How was it for you, this process, writing 13 original tracks?
It was at first, you know, very, very difficult because you have to find your process. There are a million different ways to write a song. You know, I don't know how many people are in here today, but we could find different ways for every single one of you to write a song. So you have to find the way that works for you. I had never done it before, and so we tried all these different ways, and none of them worked. So I called a friend of mine. This is like a year and a half in. You know, really nothing is materializing, nothing cohesive anyway, nothing that would give you an album. And I called a friend of mine who inspires me to no end, Rafael Casal, who a lot of you guys know, the brilliant Rafael Casal. And I asked him to, you know, start, if he would just, you know, just try working out with me, you know, just like could we meet and, you know, see if we could come up with anything. And we did. You know, about 3 weeks of working together, we had a handful of songs that I really dug. And that gave me the confidence to go, okay, it's here. And maybe this is the process. The process is calling people that I love and admire and asking them to help me. So that's what we did. We put together a little camp-like atmosphere, and I wrote 80-90% of these songs in about a week. Yeah, inspiration showed up, and it happened in that way. We mixed the best of those songs with the best of the songs that Rafa and I had written together, and that's the record.
And again, it turned out amazingly. We can talk in the first weekend. It was on the charts on iTunes and Amazon. What an amazing feat for your first original album. That's incredible.
No, it's just, I hope it for everybody in here and everybody watching. I hope you have those. It hasn't happened to me. It's happened less than a handful of times, where your dream, on some level, a dream comes true and it forces you to dream a new dream. You get the job you've been striving for, or the award, or you meet the person, like that thing. Sometimes you marry the person. It's like, okay, shoot, what do I want to do now? Like, okay. So yeah, the pop chart, with the original records, both of them did well on the jazz charts, and that was big enough in itself, but for us to matter, to make a tiny little dent on the pop chart was very big for us.
Seriously. And they
for a moment.
Right, but you haven't even toured yet. That's in 2020. How exciting is that for you? Because you've done performances on your own before, but this is the first time performing your own original music. How is this experience going to be for you?
I think it's going to be amazing. We get to, it's really a celebration of how far you've come as an artist, because the tour is really going to be, it's the best of this record. It's the best of the other records we've put out. It's the best of the other work that I've been blessed to be able to do, So we get to put together a live theatrical event for the audience that really is a tour through all of that stuff. So I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to, like I said, celebrate this album, but also celebrate all the wonderful work we've been able to do. And it's the first time that I'll have a director, a lighting designer, a production designer, a set. You're going to show up at a theater in your town, and there's going to be something to look at and a show we've put together and we've rehearsed. And yeah, I've just never done anything like that. But it's going to allow me the chance to access and utilize the best of my training. I'm sort of prepared and kind of built for this thing, performing on a stage. And so it'll be nice to get out of the studio and put the thing up as a show.
So I'm hoping you can give me just a little bit of what is to come. So you've talked about in previous interviews a little bit about the inspiration behind your track, Remember Black, all these intersections of Black culture and how it affected American culture and in tandem music overall. Can you just tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're going to do for the production, for the tour, for this particular song?
For Remember Black?
Yes.
Oh, Remember Black, we actually have the idea to expand that. Anybody who's heard the record now, as Tatiana said, it's, it looks at the contribution of Black people to American culture, through music. We take a little journey through music, and for the tour, we want to expand that out. I don't know if it's going to work. We're going to experiment with it, but our idea is to really make that bigger. How many more different styles of music can we put in there and combine it with spoken word? And yeah, we have big plans for that song. I don't know if any of it's going to turn out, but we have big
plans. Dream big, they say, right? So you have two also castmates from Ham Fam who also debuted albums in the same month.
I was listening to one of them yesterday and one of them backstage just now. I was listening to.
I love the support.
Yeah,
it's forever fam, right?
It's forever fam, but the best thing about it though is when it's not fake support, when I'm actually a fan. I'm actually a fan of David and Clipping. I thought that the last album, the Clipping album, was not just a musical achievement, but also this tremendous writing achievement. It's just so literate and bears repeated listening and, really delving into it. And then I think Anthony made a classic with The Good and the Bad, just a classic R&B record. It's so good. It's so him. And there's something about, both of those guys too. I mean, I was a fan the moment I met them. It's like instantaneous. I mean, who can forget, like, David's a unicorn. He's insane. And Anthony too is so, like, there's something about the tone of Anthony's voice that, like, it's annoying to me, but it, like, affects me emotionally. No, it's annoying to me that it affects me the way that it does. Like, I can't listen to Dear Diary without, like, my eyes welling up a little bit. That's annoying. But yeah, his record, man, it's like, it moves me, what can I say? So yeah, I'm honored to be included amongst them. I'll say this too. I don't think that it's an accident that we all released these original projects like within a month of each other. I think there is something about, number one, I just think we're connected kind of for life because of that seminal experience that we had. But I also think that there's something about how long that gestation is. Like from leaving the stage, from leaving the Hamilton stage to, like, of course, like, the world had open arms and we got invited a lot of places, but then it just took a moment to, like, clear your head, to decide, okay, what do I want to make? How do I want to make it? I mean, so it's sort of strange to me that we're all kind of, like, still, our pots are boiling at the same moment, at the same time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm curious to know if you guys maybe have a group chat and you let each other know you were dropping albums. No inspo for music from any of you guys?
Well, I mean, we all, like, Anthony had come over to the house to play a lot of those songs, like, 2 years ago. Like, some of those songs I heard a while ago. So, he'd been playing them for me. He'd been playing them for me while he was in process. But no, I didn't know when the whole project would be completed and released. I mean, we're so also dropped into our own lives that it's hard to keep track. There's a few of us out there that are doing amazing. Renee's got that movie right now, Waves. Jasmine is in Cyrano doing amazing things. Lynn obviously has taken over the world. So Philippa, I just saw Philippa in the workshop of a beautiful new show called Shayna Taub's new show about the suffragettes that Nicolette did as well. But so, like, it's it's hard to keep track of my family and, like, where they are. So no, I had no idea.
Yes. And just talking about the fam overall, you guys are so diverse. You made history with Hamilton, and it's such a special and cultural moment, and I'm so annoyed that I didn't get to see it. Can you just tell me a little bit about the community that you guys all created within each other when you were going through the Hamilton process, and even now post as you guys are off doing your own fabulous projects?
We were just right up the street, around the corner. Did anybody see it off Broadway? Did anybody in here see it off Broadway? You
missed that one too.
Yeah, right around the corner. I remember the winter that we premiered. We premiered in January 2015. It must have been, and real talk, I didn't have enough money to buy a new winter coat because, I mean, we were making no money, and I had no money. So I layered up. I got, like, I got a vest and my old winter coat that had holes in it and stuff, and, like, I layered up and, like, got myself a little scarf. So an experience like that bonded us for life. None of us got on that ride thinking that it was gonna be the comet that it was. We were just signing up to do work that we believed in, and we were going to make the sacrifices that it took to stay a part of work that we believed in. So off Broadway for 6 months, not to mention all the development and stuff, getting to that moment bonded us for life forever. We obviously share it with the audience. We share the experience with all of you who joined us. But having been there from the beginning is just a great gift and something I'll just cherish forever.
Right. And you have your Ham fam, but you also have your own family, and they were very integral in this project as well. Your wife is a background singer on some of the tracks, and your daughter, you can hear a little bit of her laughter as you're throwing her up in the air, and that's such a special moment. And your grandmother, too. You have a poem that she recited. How were those moments for you when you added those to the project, or even asking your wife to help you, or capturing that
You
special moment
know,
with your
yeah,
daughter?
you know that's a conversation. Nicolette's no background singer. Let me let y'all know. Did anybody see Nicolette in Waitress on Broadway? Where she was brilliant. Um, no, I just wanted. I felt in a lot of ways as an original record, this needed to be an introduction. You know, this needed to be because there, believe it or not, there are still people who haven't heard Hamilton ever, and there's certainly, you know, I make an introduction of myself every single day, and certainly as a now making my own music, I'm introducing and reintroducing myself all the time, and so I wanted the project to include people and special moments to me, because it's like if you hi, nice to meet you, here's who I am, you know, here's who what has helped make me who I am. So yeah, Nicolette, I begged her to. I could hear her. I could hear her like in the tapestry, in, you know, her tones and her sound in the world, and so she agreed. And the Lucy bit, yeah, that was her favorite song on the record, right from the demos. We played it for her, and like that was the only song she wanted to hear. I want the hummingbird, and so um, late in the process, we were looking for something to like add some more joy. You know, I wanted that song to feel joyful, and I was like, yeah, we need to go to like a playground and like record some kids playing or something. Like I just want like joy right through the center of this soundscape. And yeah, that was a video that Nicolette had taken of Lucy and I playing around, and we tried it at the top of the song, and it worked. And my grandmother, that's a poem that she's been reciting to me, for me, my whole life. She learned that song that poem in the 4th grade. Do y'all remember anything from the 4th grade? She learned that poem in the 4th grade, and she knew it all the days of her life. And so I didn't know it would be the last time, but that was the last time that she recited it for me. And so we included it on the project. I just think that I feel like my grandmother, probably all of our grandmothers, convey so much in their tone. You know, I feel like my grandmother, her testimony is in her tone. There's something about the sound of her voice that tells you a lot about who she was as a person. So it is one of my favorite moments on the record. I never skip it. I like stop and pause for that moment. I'm so grateful to kind of to be able to have her around me in that way.
Amazing. And I know I can ask you questions all day, but we have some audience questions as well.
I'm a big fan of Hamilton. I actually have a Hamilton tattoo with one of your lines from Nonstop. I designed it myself.
You did. Why do you write like you're running out of time? I don't know. I don't know why he does. It's beautiful. Red feather.
Thank you. But if you could be on any Broadway show that's currently like running, what show would you choose?
I mean, there's not really a role in it for me. There's not really a role in it for me. And listen, I'll say first, too, I haven't seen everything that's running. I'll say, two, there's one, you know, it's really special and important what The Lion King has created, you know, like that's the new kind of Cats, our new long-running, you know, family show. That's super important to me. And like that was Lucille's first Broadway show that she saw. We took her to see that, you know, but the representation in that and the sounds and the sights of it, I don't know if there's a part in that for me yet. I'm a little too young for Mufasa, but maybe someday Lion King, or I did just see Slave play, and you know, it's heavy. It's big and heavy, but you know, when I spoke to the cast afterwards, though, I said, you know, and I really had to sit with that and unpack it for a while. There's a lot that happens in that show, but you know, what I appreciated was like, you know, what a worthy endeavor. I mean, this is worth your time as an audience, but also as an artist. You know, theater, Broadway, like that, it's a sacrifice too. You know, it's time away from your family, it's time away from other things you could be doing. And so I just thought it was such a worthy endeavor, that show. Good
And we
question.
have another question over here.
Hey.
Hey.
So success can have many different definitions as well as levels. So what would you say success means to you?
Success means freedom to me. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, that's what it provides you. It provides you, the freedom to create opportunities for other people, the freedom to choose how you want to spend your time. And so, like, it happens for people on many different levels. It's like when I got to LA, the people that were most interesting to me was like, not the names you know. It was not like Will Smith and Sam Jackson and stuff. What I was interested in meeting the people of color who'd made a living for themselves in the arts, who were names you didn't know. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so you bought a house and you put 2 kids through college and you've made a life for yourself in this business and nobody knows your name. How did you do that? And so I bet if you talk to all those people, I'm not sure if all those people feel as free as they'd like. But to me, that was freedom. To me, that was like, you seem to be living the way you want to live. I think that's success.
And one last question.
Hi, I'm Camilla. Nice to see you. My question is, what song on the album is your favorite that really speaks to who you are and like what you do?
Well, I'm gonna try to answer your question and not shirk the question, because the truth is, it's like I love them all. I think we wrote almost 25 songs, and there's 13 tracks on the album, but there's only 11 songs. 2 of those tracks are interludes, and so there's a lot of. So I chose my favorite 11, but standards is important to me because we were trying to make like a signature tune, a tune that what's the song you can write if you can that you'll sing until you're 90. What's your my way? What's your credo? So standards is important to me, but I really do love them all. I hope you do too.
Well, thank you again, Leslie, so much for coming and sitting and talking with us. But we're not done. Stay tuned because Leslie is doing a very special performance for all of us a little bit later. Thank you.